This is how Jin Ping Mei is read chapter 31 in the embroidered portrait version. The harp boy hides the pot and starts a fight. Simon King throws a banquet to celebrate at the storybook. The lute boy hides the pot and looks at the jade flute. Simon King throws a banquet to celebrate the wedding. 1. Helping skills. With a large bribe from the birthday party, Kai Jing gave Simon King a 5th grade official as he pleased. Wu Dine accompanied Lai Bao to Tokyo because his brother-in-law, who pretended to be Simon King, also picked up a minor official. It was just that when a new official took office, his boss and colleagues sent red envelopes to treat him to drinks and meals, which cost money anyway. Wu Dian was short of money, so he had to ask the Earl to help him borrow 70 or 80 taels from Simon King. The promised reward was an astonishing 10 taels. Silver. It shows that borrowing money has been difficult since ancient times. Thanks to his agency fee, let us see Earl Ying's all-pervasive flattery skills and ever-changing helping skills. Don't pretend to be noble and despise him. Maybe in life, you are afraid that you can't learn from him. Earl Ying brought Wu Dian to borrow money. So should we open the door and go into the mountains? Or should we take a sideways approach? No. Earl Ying's method is to just fish and wait and see what happens. The first step: lend a hand to pat the horse. No matter what Simon King is doing now, he must be happy first. At this time, Simon King was nailing the belt that is tied to the coat, with some gorgeous decorations on it. Earl Ying started flattering him with a water rhinoceros belt. With some economic knowledge that was hard to distinguish, he praised the belt as a priceless treasure, and then asked the price, giving the owner a ladder to continue to show off. Obviously, Simon didn't care about it at this time. King replied, "It's okay to go down the steps of Earl Ying. It's rare to be so beautiful." Then what? Because it looks good, I wear this belt. Firstly, I look rich and wealthy. And secondly, it also gives me face when my colleagues see me. When a new official takes office, the word colleague is like a spring breeze. Step 2. Punchline debt. He brought Wu Dian but didn't say a word. He just chatted with Simon King and waited for Simon King to ask. I guess Earl Ying is thinking this at this time. After all, Wu Dian impersonated Simon King. Does Simon King know about this? Do you mind? If Simon King didn't mind, Earl Ying would never mention it. If Simon King didn't mind and took the initiative to ask about the idler next to him, then things would be easier to handle. Earl Ying said, Yao took care of him and sent him to Tokyo to celebrate his birthday. Although it was the Grand Master who gave him this future, even if you promoted him, it was also his own creation. No, the first 2 9th rank are all court officials, but he sued me, he said. Now that I have taken office, I need a lot of money to serve the officials, serve wine, buy clothes and so on. How can I change my life? A guest can't bother to masters. I have no choice. Brother, look at me. I have some money and lend him a few taels. I have done all this for you. When he becomes a Shangwan tomorrow, he will not forget his kindness even if he holds the title of Huanji Cao. Don't say that he is still in and out of my family. Even if he is an official in the outer capital, I will not know how to help him. How much? Otherwise, how can you teach him how to do it? This passage is really amazing. It couldn't be better. Now let's take a closer look. 1. Wu Dian's position was not obtained by defrauding him through your connections and reputation. You took care of him to do this and promoted his future. So don't think he is being naughty and says it was the Grand Master who rewarded him. In the final analysis, it was you who rewarded him. 2. He wants to be an official now, and he is short of money. He can't find anyone to help him except you. After all, he has a position, and he is also an official of the court. From now on, he will remember your great kindness and be yours. People. 3. When you released official debts, you took care of so many civil servants inside and outside the county. Now it is no big deal to take care of your own brothers. It can be said that Earl Ying's witty words were like pearls of pearls, and he was flattered on his waist. Simon King Chunfeng proudly and generously lent him 100 taels without even asking for interest. Wu Dian took the money and left with great gratitude. As for Earl Ying, he only left Simon's house to collect the agency fee after eating and drinking in a few words. If I hadn't said it so cleverly, he would have refused to lend it to you. Of course, to be fair, he would have refused to lend it to you. While Earl Ying was superb, Wu Dian seemed too humble. He had a hard time talking in front of Simon King, and I'm afraid it's hard to describe his unhappiness. This can be said to be a foreshadowing of future treachery. Some people may think that Earl Ying's flattery skills only need to be shameless, but little do they know that his ability lies not only in his excellent words and grasp of the occasion, but also in his ability to grasp the master's psychology and create a suitable occasion. After this time, Earl Ying performed again. At that time, it was Simon Guanji's full moon banquet. During the banquet, Count Ying coaxed him to come out to see the child. Therefore, the guests attending the banquet inevitably gave some gifts in person. Others gave money, but Earl Ying only gave a few coins. It seemed that he was going to be embarrassed, but he didn't expect that he had already made up his mind and created a flattery. A good opportunity, with a good appearance. He was born to wear a gauze hat. For Simon King, who has just taken office, is there any sweeter flattery than this? The result was Simon King was overjoyed and bowed to express his thanks. In such a comparison, everyone else here has become Earl Ying's obedient foil. It needs to be pointed out in particular that this very interesting text is a unique modification of the embroidery version. The Chihua version does not explain this paragraph clearly. It only mentions that Ying and Zi gave the meeting gift, and Simon King bowed to their heavy gift. Thanks. This is obviously much less interesting. Earl Ying is such a capable person. No wonder Tian Xiaofei expressed his opinion despite all opinions. I just like Earl. 2. The Pot of War. The piano boy who appears in the title this time is not the piano boy brought by Meng Yulu originally. The piano boy was kicked out of Simon's house because of his affair with Pan Jinlian. This piano boy is the young boy Tian Thor brought by Li Pinger. A name? Why change the name? Originally there was a boy named Hua Tunger in Simon's family, but later there was a piano boy who just left. After Simon King was promoted, the boss of King County, the magistrate, sent another young man to him. He could write and sing, so he changed his name to Schrödinger. Another boy was gathered, called Ji Tunger. Now, if we change it to another piano boy, it would be a perfect match for piano, chess, calligraphy, and painting, right? If you have money, you can be educated, and if you pretend, you can put on a lot of weight. The 4 children who play music, chess, calligraphy, and painting correspond to the 4 families of plum, jade, and spring fragrance. I am sorry that it cannot be abbreviated to plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum. Just smile. From then on, they accompanied the wives and concubines of the Simon family, stringing together countless stories about the harem. According to the 2-line structure mentioned in the last chapter, since Simon King was promoted to official position, the atmosphere of the novel has gradually become hotter and the scenes have become bigger and bigger. After giving birth to a child, the story of competition for favor has gradually become colder, and the text has become more and more sharp. The macro world and the micro world have become more and more intense. Emotions deviate from and penetrate each other, making the picture more turbulent and the thoughts more tense. This is the case this time. Simon King held a banquet for fun, starting from cutting clothes and making belts after being promoted to an official position, choosing a good and auspicious day to take office, until full moon wine was served at home, and even the old eunuchs with whom he had no relationship came to worship. The quarrel about the child hiding the pot refers to the fact that, after Li Pinger gave birth to a son, the piano boy who was originally inconspicuous in Simon's family also followed his master and became a celebrity. Because of hiding the pot, Pan Jinlian started a war for favor. Obviously, this is a relatively 2-line structure, and the trivial things in the family contain profound connotations. The basic story of the piano boy hiding the pot to stir up trouble is as follows. Not long after the book boy arrived, he fell in love with Yu Xiao. Yu Xiao took advantage of the busy banquet to secretly hide some fruits and a jug of wine, made of silver flask, and give them to the book boy. The book boy was not at the scene, but he was discovered by the piano boy. Qin Tong secretly took the hidden pot and fruit back to Li Ping's room, and gave them to Yingxun to hide. After the banquet, I was collecting the tableware and found that a silver pot was missing. Yu Xiao couldn't find it, so I had to rely on Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu couldn't take the blame, so the two pushed each other. Wu Yunyang knew, Simon King knew, and Pan Jinlian also knew. Li Ping'er knew about Ying Chen's collection of pots, and was afraid of causing trouble, so she asked him to hand it over, and even confessed to Qin Tong about stealing the pots. Obviously, the origin of this matter lies with Yu Xiao, who not only had an affair but also stole wine. However, in the general environment of the Ximen family, these two steals are not a big mistake. The former is just a moral issue, and the latter is just a moral issue, low-level malfeasance and corruption. Qin Tong's stealing of the pot is a completely different matter. His goal is not only to steal the wine and fruit that Yu Xiao stole, but also to steal the entire silver pot. I guess he can take it back. A lot of money, right? Therefore, if we want to enforce the law impartially, the people in Li Ping's room confessed to the piano boy, and there are all the witnesses and material evidence. The piano boy cannot escape the blame, but he can get some meritorious performance by betraying the jade flute and a book boy. Because he stole the pot hidden in the jade flute, not the pot on the table. Therefore, the normal result is that the piano boy may be severely punished, and the jade flute and the book boy will inevitably bear some responsibility. But the matter passed without a trace, because Qin Tong is Li Ping'er's son. Ximen King is still excited about having a son and getting an official title. What's more, this is a good day when the official brother is full moon. So why not be peaceful? Therefore, looking at Li Ping'er's face, he did not pursue the matter. It's just Ximen King. How can Pan Jinlian give up? Her almost annoying cleverness penetrated Ximen King's mind, and thus began a process of jealousy that added to the chaos. Pan Jinlian, Qin Tong'er is a member of his family. I put the pot in his room. I think I must hide the meaning of the pot. If you want to call me, I will ask the servant to call the slave now and ask him for his whereabouts. Otherwise, the two of them will be responsible for killing the Vajra and killing the Buddha. Ximen King, according to what you said, does it mean that Sister Li loves this pot? Now that you have it, just put it away and just don't mess with it. Pan Jinlian, who said my sister has no money. These 3 lines of dialogue are very interesting, but the thinking is so jumpy that it is difficult to understand the connotation at a glance. Pan Jinlian meant to poke at Qin Tong's criminal motive. He just wanted to ignore the pot. How could such theft be tolerated if no one reports him? Wouldn't it mean that Yu Xiao Yu would take the blame? Pan Jinlian wanted to call the slave here, beat him honestly, and ask him about his whereabouts. He wanted to ask about the whereabouts of the pot, but the pot had already come out, so it was basically beat him honestly, embarrassing Li Ping'er. His family and in his house, of course Ximen King could tell that. Pan Jinlian wanted Li Ping'er to take leadership responsibility. So Ximen King was very angry and wanted to excuse her. Did Li Ping'er love this? Hold the pot? Is she so rich that she would like this thing? Qin Tong is just joking. Why are you so fussy? The subtext of just make trouble is that today is a good day. Don't make trouble. When Pan Jinlian said the 3rd sentence, her face turned red with embarrassment, and Ximen King also hit her where it hurts. Just to cause trouble. So she had to go back to the previous question, whether Li Ping'er loved this pot. So who said sister has no money is equivalent to the last angry words. I know you are rich. You are rich. You are rich. So you don't love this pot. So you didn't let Qin Tong steal it, but he still stole it. There are countless subtexts hidden behind these 3 simple sentences. The various psychological states of the parties are contained between the lines. This is a writing method that the author of Jin Ping Mei is particularly good at, integrating psychological description into verbal description. And language description is one of the most outstanding aspects of Jin Ping Mei as a novel text. Pan Jinlian, who had made a fuss over nothing, complained to Meng Yulu. When she heard that Ximen King had gone to Li Ping'er's room, she cursed like a fire was stoked in her heart. She didn't care at all how Ximen King had flirted with each other in her room before. She was smart enough to realize that this was not a momentary loss of favor, but a long-term crisis, killing one by one, destroying others, stepping in the mud. Indeed, jealousy cannot win through ridicule with words alone. As Li Ping'er's favor increases day by day, Pan Jinlian's moves will become more and more fierce. 3. The eunuch's drama. Simon King became a fifth-rank official, and all the powerful officials in the county came to celebrate. Even to retired old eunuchs came to pay tribute. Eunuchs are a strange existence, especially those outside the palace. Many dynasties in China have had stories of eunuchs taking over the power, among which the Ming dynasty was the most popular. As we all know, Jin Ping Mei was written during the Ming dynasty, so most of the eunuchs at that time were more powerful and stylish. Just look at how much inheritance Li Ping'er inherited from her eunuch father-in-law. However, whether it is the story background of the novel or the real historical reality, eunuchs are quite despised by the world. These two old eunuchs came to order plays, and they all ordered plays with ominous names. On the one hand, they were mocking the eunuchs for being uneducated and ignorant of the world. On the other hand, they might also be using the play to write 3 hidden meanings. Meaningful play titles: Sighing that life is like a dream. Chen Lin holding a makeup box. The most painful parting in life is parting. Just over a year later, Li Ping'er and Simon King died. The powerful and popular Simon family was gradually bullied. Even Wu Dian, pronounced Wu Dianen, who came to borrow money this time. Also, bullying comes to the head. Isn't this parting when Li Ping'er dies in the 65th chapter? We will hear a song Bu Shen La. I think parting is the most painful parting in the world. The flowers have withered. Spring is approaching. And the moon is missing. The Mid-Autumn Festival is here. People have gone. When will they come? Isn't life just like a dream? As for Chenlin's makeup box, it tells the story of a civet cat exchanging for a prince. If it has any special connotation, does it correspond to Pan Jinlian's suspicion about Brother Guan's birth time last time? Pan Jinlian complained to Meng Yulu this time that it was just like giving birth to a prince. Wasn't it also tantamount to accusing Brother Guan of being a civet cat and having an incorrect bloodline? Just as we mentioned last time that Simon King didn't know that Li Ping'er of Jade Pavilion was pregnant was the biggest flaw in the book. Could this metaphor imply the answer to this flaw? Of course, so far I have not been able to find a self-explanatory answer from the text, so I will leave it to the Soyan scholars to slowly dig out the interesting content.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.